just flow of life. But I think there's a small, minor transformation that happened. I think there's a lot more to learn and do. But yeah, what he said is slightly true. Like I've
What
gone through
happened,
that.
Venu? Like, if somebody as your faculty who knows you, who knew you so very well,
Yes, yes.
and was very much sure that, pretty sure that, you wouldn't be that guy who could have transformed in such a short
Yes,
span of time.
yes, 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 yes.
So I
See,
was just wondering, like, if you were in the materialistic point of view, worldly point of view, a very average student, or below
not at least
average.
not at least an average student, a very
Hmm.
below average
A
student.
very below average student.
Or a student, and nothing being serious, and nothing being taken serious about. I think either an academics part or either understanding subjects.
Hmm.
I don't know. There is nothing that I'm not very much structured. I was not very much structured before.
Hmm.
Still engineering. I think 2010 to 14 was my graduation.
Hmm.
I think that complete period, either from the childhood,
Hmm.
like not that confident at least, or never taken life as much as serious it has to be taken.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think after once I've passed engineering, I think there was a year gap from
Hmm.
2014 to 15 before I've joined post graduation.
Hmm.
So I think to tell one point, I think fear is what drives me all along in the initial stage.
Hmm. Hmm.
Fear of failure in life, fear
But
of
what
failure in
caused
life.
that? Fear of failure. Okay, fine. I understand. At some point
Because
you would have
what
realized it.
happens, what
Hmm.
happens is you have bunch of friends, colleagues, or folks around you who's doing great.
Hmm.
Let's say, for example, you're at a point 50, and
Hmm.
you come to know that you're at 0 or -1 or something of that sort.
Hmm.
Then you suddenly realize that, see, I think you have to do very great in life so that you would reach to them at least.
Hmm.
That's the initiation. I think that's the initiation point that made me to focus more on life and to be very serious, structured. Yeah,
Hmm.
of that stuff.
When
To
when
understand.
was that? Which year was that? Venu?
I think it's been. I think 2014 was my pass out from the graduation.
Hmm.
I think I took 3 months of time to figure it out what to do next.
Hmm.
My father is just like banging that you're useless because he has invested. I understand his point because he invested huge in my engineering
Hmm.
graduation where other people are just making it for free. I
Hmm.
think he's invested a lot in my education, and he's
Hmm.
seriously banging out like you have become useless, of
Hmm.
nothing to do with life and all.
Hmm.
I was also just seeing how people are compounding well after their engineering graduation.
Hmm.
So I thought and financial situations at home also makes you realize that at this point I think you have to start and be many points. Like one is fear of failure.
Hmm.
The second point is the financial situations at home because I think 90% of parents tries to hide all the financial situations at home. They don't want to discuss with you about money or any struggles that they are facing through. But
Hmm.
unfortunately, my father has clearly spoke to me about the financial situations that we are going through and the importance of money that plays a very big role in your life. I think these 2 points you always used to stress to me.
Hmm.
I think you always discuss to me about that.
Hmm.
I think these are the two things that are the initiation points that made me more serious about life.
So what did you
Then
do? Okay, please go on.
Uh,
Please go on.
yeah, so what happened after 3 months is I thought let me start with joining one course that's called communication skills, improving on communication. Not when I mean to say that it is communication, it's not about a single language.
Hmm.
It's about that outspokenness. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
whenever you wanted to convey one point to an individual, like
Hmm.
there are 90% of people who can't do that because they
Hmm.
have a very structured thought in their mind, but
Hmm.
they can't communicate as effectively as
Hmm.
like.
Hmm.
So I thought I should work on it first.
Hmm.
I thought I've joined a spoken English institute called
Hmm.
Teaching Fish in Visakhapatnam,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that course is something very pretty exciting.
Hmm.
It's not like the traditional course where you just go and sit and just hog on this theoretical classes and all,
Hmm.
but there's a lot of practical things that I've done there.
Hmm.
It's not about improving communication. That's like English. It's all about uh, there were always what we call and the most important interesting part is the founder of the institution
Mm-hmm.
is more passionate about transforming the tier 2, tier 3 city people.
Great.
Transforming, that's the interesting point. Like his intention of starting institution was not to make money. Of
Mm.
course, any business that is money, but his initial or his core vision is to transform people like me to the next level
Mm-hmm.
so that it would help an individual a lot. That's his, so that the program was structured on a very practical way. Like you can just you have they would put us in some situations like they will call you to a stage where 100 people are around you, then just give you a topic and you have to speak.
Great.
Probably one thing I've noticed, our complete education system, like mostly in the tier 2 and tier 3 city, is are done only through shaming purpose.
Mm.
What I mean by shaming purpose is like they teach you by shaming you.
Mm.
That didn't happen in teaching fish. It
Mm.
happened. See, do whatever you do, people won't laugh at you. The coaches are so well trained, like they'll
Mm.
encourage you whether you do like n number of mistakes. But
Mm.
shaming part was not there. So
Mm.
whenever a shaming part was not there in the learning process, I think people would show interest in learning things.
Mm.
I think in most of our schools, colleges, shaming will be there. Like
Mm.
if a teacher explains a class or any subject to a person who is not grasping it well, the shaming purpose would come.
Mm. Mm.
Come because if they shame, this person is not understanding at a first go or second go. That
Mm.
really didn't happen in the that coaching center. There were many motivation classes by the founder
Mm.
that what should be taken serious in life and what are the ways that that you have to do to prosper in life and all. I think
Mm.
that's the point where I've completely changed.
Mm.
Then, fortunately, I've met a person who have done MBA from IIM Ahmedabad.
Mhm.
Then I was anyway not interested in taking up this tech courses
Mhm.
again or MTech course or anything. I thought
Mhm.
I'll just do an MBA. So
Mhm.
then I spoke to him and understood how MBA works and what really
Mhm.
MBA means to an individual.
Mhm.
Then he explained me every single minute detail, like what are the courses that you have, what are the different like sales, marketing, operations, and all stuff like that.
When you could you please come a little away from that noise?
So sorry,
Uh,
just give me a minute.
yeah.
Okay, I'm at a new construction
Hmm.
site of of
Mm-hmm.
mine. So
Okay.
I think
Okay.
now it is fine.
Yes,
I
it's
believe
much better. Much
it's
better.
much better. I
Yeah.
don't mind about it. You just stayed in contact now, and I just called you
No,
right away.
that's absolutely
Yeah,
fine.
so,
Yeah.
so that's the. I think the entire module of MBA was understood from that person. Then
Hmm.
I've decided I'll join an MBA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and the other fortunate thing happened is I've joined a course which is fantastic. Like
Where did you
of
do
course,
your MBA from?
I've done it from Geetham School of International Business.
Mm-hmm.
Though it is an course of I think which is related to Geetham, but I think Geetham has two different MBA courses. One is
Mm-hmm.
the normal course,
Mm-hmm.
like it is called Geetham Institute of Management. The other course it has is like Geetham School of International Business,
Mm-hmm.
a college which is affiliated with the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade (IFT).
Mm-hmm.
A very complex course.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like engineering or like any other course. It is a
Mm-hmm.
very complex course structure.
Mm-hmm.
I think 3 trimesters in a year,
Mm-hmm.
and each trimester has like 12 subjects, and every individual subject has lot of to do with teamwork,
Mm-hmm.
presentations,
Mm-hmm.
reports, practical work.
Mm-hmm.
So when you've been into that process of handling like 60 to 70 subjects during these 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
with all these sessions on an individual subject,
Mm-hmm.
probably any individual will change.
Yes.
Like we've been through the process of presenting it, talking to many people,
Mm-hmm.
attending conferences,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and doing a lot of case presentations,
Great.
depending upon situations and all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the course is very well structured. Like,
Mm-hmm.
though it didn't fetch us a very huge job pay,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the course is well structured actually. It's a
Mm-hmm.
residential program where I think the entire course has like 60 to 70 students, very limited seats,
Mm-hmm.
and all these 70 students were given a exclusive guest house
Mm-hmm.
where that like boys stay down in the ground floor and girls stay
Mm-hmm.
up in the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
So the bias system was not there.
Hmm.
I think every time they used to form groups, that would be a mixture of both girls and boys.
Hmm.
So I think the first important point is like I think we have overcome that fear of talking to other gender,
Hmm. Hmm.
working with other gender. So
Hmm.
understood to respect them and all. So that
Hmm.
really helped me and helping me in the corporate life now.
Hmm.
So many more things about the course, and that 2 years has played a very significant role. Like
Hmm.
six very good professors, all
Hmm.
from IIMs passed out, and people have worked at various other different companies.
Hmm.
Not about just teaching lessons and putting exams, but lot many practical examples were discussed with us at every subject.
Hmm.
I think from there, I think the passion has been there to
Hmm.
really be in a company, to should be prosper in that company or a particular role or a particular challenges whenever it
And
does happen.
what along with your
Yeah,
trainings or along with the exposure that you got,
yeah.
what what if I ask you what really changed about you in your own perspective? What
What
really changed about
really
you?
changed me is I think I think MBA or the subjects in MBA has really brought that interest in me, which never happened when I used to study engineering subjects.
Hmm.
Like whenever I used to
No,
go,
I think I need what my question was, what
yeah,
actually changed about you
about
as a
me.
person?
Oh, so if you ask me, I would say that the interesting points or interesting people or the good group that is surrounded by me.
Acha.
See, what
So,
happens is all the 60 students are more passionate, more aspire to do something or the other thing. Though
hmm,
their
hmm,
aspirations are not that at that big level, but everyone has an aspiration. All the
hmm,
60 students has aspirations.
hmm,
Either to be good at job, either to learn something, either to start a company, either to do some or the other thing. Everyone is aspired in their own way. It's not like you have a group surrounded around you, like five, six members. Let's say, let's go to a movie, let's chit chat, let's
hmm,
do
hmm.
something. Let's work. It's not of that sort. Let's do a case study. Let's do a presentation. Let's do a report. Let's discuss
Great.
about
So
business.
no, this proves again, I keep telling in my workshops that you're always the average of your five friends.
Yes,
So
that is
that,
something which is very needed for an individual. If
hmm,
you are always surrounded with people way smarter than you, I think
hmm,
every time you'll feel that you're useless at that point. So whenever you find useless at that point, you'll try to groom
hmm,
yourself and try to understand what the other people are doing to be smarter. So
yeah.
automatically,
Yeah,
yeah.
this also, a long time ago, like I heard, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. So
Yes,
probably,
very sure. That is which is something very true, very true.
yes.
You
Hmm.
should always be surrounded with way smarter and smarter than you, so that you'll always feel useless. So
Hmm.
whenever you feel useless, you always try to learn or try to be curious of things, and that's how you be sharper and smarter.
Hmm. So how
Yes,
long did this entire process of transformation actually took, from
I
the
think
day you realized?
that I have decided that if I'm joining MBA, I would do it. I would do it as serious as possible,
Hmm.
because from day one, like from LKG or from the day one of my schooling, I've never taken life as serious or education as serious as it has to be taken. I thought I should give my 100% in this 2 years,
Hmm.
so that it would take me to a point like the other people have to like the other people are doing in life.
So
Yeah.
the most significant changes about you, do you want to say that happened
It
only
is
in those
not the
2 years?
internal things. It's not like the internal things. I said, like God has given me a very fortunate thing of being surrounded with very good people.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Otherwise, see, let's say an example. I've joined an MBA college,
Hmm.
and again, you have a group who's not aspired or who's not willing to do something great with life and just only wanted to go to movies or chit chat or do something of the other stuff. Probably, I would
Hmm.
have never been changed and transformed.
Hmm.
That's what. Of course, I have that internal intention or internal desire to grow in life,
Hmm.
and that is complemented with people around, like making people who I think who wanted to do that again. So
Hmm.
that is the thing. And
So,
again, I
yeah,
was not at
please.
home probably. I was not at
Hmm.
home probably. I
Hmm.
was in the residential college or residential guest house
Hmm.
that is given by uh, by the college, and
mm,
it is a mandate. If you want to do a course in that international business school, you have to stay
mm,
in the hostel and be with the other
mm,
folks, and you just have to do it.
mm,
Yeah, so you don't get deviated by internal problems or internal pressures of the house.
mm,
So when you are very far from your parents, relatives, and our daily schedule used to be like only of discussing about subjects that were taught in class, or any business ideas, or any issues, current issues that are happening with the country, and 2 years is complete of that sort. Nothing more deviations in life.
mm, mm.
Yeah, so I think that really made me to change. And so I think there is more probably to do in life. Yeah.
Mhm. So how okay, if I have to list, the one, two, or three core things which really changed about you personally and professionally in those years of transformation, how many were there? Like 2, 3 years of transformation completely?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
2 3 years of two
So
years
if
of the
I have to
transformation.
speak, let's say your language, from your language point of view.
Okay.
So, and what else really changed about you? Your approach towards life, or your approach towards improvement. So, what all, if from your, if I ask you to list, 2, 3 things that really changed about you.
I think finding the purpose of life
Great.
is the more core thing which I've learned at that teaching pitch institute. Like,
Hmm.
because he always used to stress on the purpose of life.
Hmm.
Purpose of life is something. It's not like earning money or something of that sort, but
Hmm.
doing something great that
Hmm.
would your parents or your that you would meet your responsibilities at least.
Hmm.
Everyone goes through that cycle of getting married or getting children or
Hmm.
being with parents, and if you're
Hmm.
not what we call you're doing justice to the objective of, or the purpose of life, I think these all things go for a toss.
Hmm.
That's the first thing that I've learned from him, and that's the first thing that I put on my mind while the transformation process. Purpose of life, identifying the purpose of life.
Hmm.
Second is fear of failure.
Hmm.
Third is, this is not an internal thing. This is an external thing which God is kind enough to do. Like
Hmm.
being surrounded with very people who are aspired to do something great,
Hmm. Hmm.
something with life at least. Not
Hmm.
great. Let's
Hmm.
not keep that exaggerate things. Like at least they have aspired to do something of something meaningful in their life.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
See, three important aspects. That's it. Not
yeah,
much more than that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, if I just want to ask you, like, how did your language change? Because as Santosh told me, your language wasn't even very close to, even at least remotely close to what you speak today. So,
Yeah, it was never been that great. And one thing is, MBA is all not. I've made my mind that MBA shouldn't be like only reading that study material or of any of that sort.
hmm,
I would change my personality
hmm,
because the interesting part of the course is like for every 6 months there is a consultant firm that comes from Bangalore.
hmm,
They stay for 2 months
hmm,
and they have several modules that improves your personality.
hmm,
Okay.
hmm,
They would teach you how to, they would teach you the corporate etiquettes. They would teach you the dining etiquettes, teach you the dressing etiquettes.
hmm,
Not that you would get a great job at, but you do well in your life at least. That's
hmm.
the main purpose of that course module. And
Fantastic.
they would teach you how to improve your communication skills, how
Hmm.
to, what are the ways that you organically improve your communication skills and all.
And which would
Probably
be
I've
like some of them, if you could,
Some of them,
like,
I've just read books like textbooks in the sense like marketing. I was always interested in marketing courses. So
hmm,
probably I've just read topics from the textbooks directly instead of following some notes, running notes or some PPTs of that sort.
hmm,
Just read books like, Kotler is a marketing book
hmm, hmm,
generally followed in any MBA. I think
hmm,
that I've read at least twice or thrice in my complete course,
hmm,
completely,
hmm,
and watched a number of videos of founders who are doing well and well established people. I've seen, I always, today, at least I spend 2 hours of watching videos and watching content, listening to podcasts
hmm.
like the best minds in the country, the startup founders who are doing great at their 22s, 23s. What is that they're doing? I just listen and I'll follow them.
Hmm.
Just podcasts and the reading books,
Who's the one
watching
you actually follow more or no?
Kunal Shah, man, he is the founder and founder of Cred. Kunal Shah. I
Kunal
think you
Shah.
have to watch Kunal Shah. You have to watch his videos.
Hmm.
I think he'll keep it very blunt about the Indian mindsets or any
Hmm.
society mindset. Let's say, for example, he'll tell you points that an individual mindset should be created to prosper in life,
Hmm.
and of course, the country to prosper.
Great.
You
Hmm.
have to watch his stuff. He's an incredible man. Like
Hmm.
Kunal Shah, Kunal Shah.
Okay.
I follow
Hmm.
him very rigorously. Like
Hmm.
any video that comes from or any, I follow him on Twitter. I follow him on Instagram. I follow his content. He has
Hmm.
its own YouTube channel
Hmm.
called
Hmm.
Cred. Cred is like a company which facilitates or incentivizes people for their good financial behavior.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's again a huge company. He is a founder. Before he was a founder of Recharge
Hmm.
and a serial entrepreneur again, serial investor.
Hmm. Okay.
An angel investor. He invests a lot in startups and all. He
Hmm.
speaks
Hmm.
very good, meaningful
And
things.
what are some of the, what other experts or authors do you generally, recommend to others who would want to really make it, to their purpose and goals in their lives?
Like um you watch this Harish Mariwala, who's the
Hmm.
founder of Marico Parachute. Generally, if we say Parachute, I think everyone will get related to Parachute Hair Oil.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's a huge brand. He tells how he transformed himself because his father's business was just a traditional coconut oil business.
Hmm. Hmm.
From there, how he took up and just converted his business into and built an empire called Marico. What
Hmm.
it takes from the scratch to the
Hmm.
top. Now, Marico is a well-established company. Like you
Hmm.
never find any other alternative to hair oils like
Hmm.
other than Parachute.
Hmm.
At least to the tier 2, tier 3, to the rural areas from to the urban areas.
Hmm. Hmm.
He tells from step one to step now and how he's progressing and all.
Hmm.
How we progress and all. And these are the two personalities that I follow rigorously, like Kunal Shah. And I think you
Hmm.
should watch this video of Kunal Shah with beer biceps,
Yeah,
his
sure, sure.
podcast. Yeah,
Huh.
someone. I would recommend someone to watch if
Hmm.
they really not figuring out the purpose of life. He would tell
Hmm. Hmm.
and explain in a hour. And
Hmm.
that podcast and Rahul Bajaj. Rahul
Hmm.
Bajaj. I also follow this person called Rahul Bajaj.
Hmm.
We have to watch one video of Rahul Bajaj how he explains how business works and all.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah,
Great. So
great.
it's been like how many years you have been, you feel that, you actually made this big transformation and now you are on your way to your ambition or your purpose, you're in line with your
Yes,
purpose. How
yes,
many
yes.
years it's been, like around 4 5 years? No?
Yeah. 4 years,
Four
exactly four
years.
years. Four
Okay.
years
Uh,
exactly. In this 4 years again, I've done a multiple and a number of mistakes,
hmm,
but
hmm,
I'm just working on it and again and again.
hmm.
Yes,
So
yeah.
during that period of transformation, what were the major activities that would consume your day?
Major activities. See, probably I start my day at 5:30 probably.
Hmm.
I exercise a day at least 1.5 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes and all.
Hmm.
Exercise is something which I never missed out. At least I do it 5 or 4 days in a week.
Hmm.
Mindful eating, of course, we hawk and we have biryanis and all, but generally not on a daily purpose. I
Hmm.
have a very structured food and diet on a
Hmm.
daily basis,
Hmm.
and I never work for a company on an namesake basis. Let's say I am
Hmm.
working for a healthcare division now,
Hmm.
which has the aspiration to become one of the leading corporate hospital in Visakhapatnam or the surrounding areas.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I always work for myself. Like
Hmm.
like what I do is meet I handle corporate relations for the hospital, like for the
Hmm.
healthcare division.
Hmm.
I think my never ever my boss or my CEO asked me to go out there, meet many number of clients, explain about your hospital services and all. That would never happen. I have around like 5 executives under me.
Hmm.
Probably if I won't be in on field and meet people, new people every day, they would
Hmm.
never ask me. Anyway, my people would rotate that strike, like my executives would rotate that strike, getting leads,
Hmm.
closing few deals for the hospital and all. But I
Hmm.
would make sure that we are still in a very young age. I
Hmm.
make sure that I would be with my executives, meet corporate clients. That's how network builds, right? Like
Hmm.
today,
Hmm.
now you ask me any pharmaceutical company, Venu, let's say if you have Mylan, let's
Hmm.
say, for example, your company has some product to
Hmm.
deal with pharmaceutical industry. I can
Hmm.
just happily go to the main decision maker out there.
Hmm.
See, that's what I do on a daily basis. Meet
Hmm.
new people and expand my network.
Hmm. Hmm.
Second thing is like I try to learn. I'm very terrible because stocks is something which generally 90% of people won't do in India, or at least in the Type 2, Type 3 cities.
Hmm.
I try to understand how this money compounds way faster.
Hmm.
Uh, Let me put it very clear. Generally, people won't share the amount that they earn on their jobs. I would
Hmm.
just earn 70,000 per month,
Hmm.
but I would I would just learn how to understand how money works for an individual. How
Hmm.
does it
Hmm.
compounds? I would watch videos on stock markets. I
Hmm.
would just
Hmm.
see lot of trading sessions and all,
Hmm.
just to understand how do we when you start investing, you should understand a clear picture. You should have understanding a very clear picture of
Hmm.
how money works and all.
Hmm.
Financial literacy, if
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
in a precise say financial literacy.
Hmm.
Financial literacy is something which is needed for every individual.
Hmm.
I'm learning on it,
Hmm.
financial literacy, and many videos of founders
Hmm.
which they talk on, because generally I believe the best way of being smart is like learning from the failures of an other individual. There
Hmm.
is no need of again just going through your personal experience and just prospering. It's
Hmm.
again you watch the other people experiences and you can just change the way you are working on a daily basis.
Hmm.
That I do on in the evenings. Like probably try to allocate 2 to 3 hours on only learning new things. New things in the sense, yes, things that is required for an individual to prosper in life,
Hmm.
and that's it. Not very, uh, uh, but I have an aspiration to be with at least to start a small company which generate 5 to 6 or 7 jobs.
Hmm.
That's the aspiration. I just wanted to. I'm just in the process of learning things on building a company, or at
Great,
least
Venu, because yeah, please go ahead.
be closer to people who wanted to build great. Like the current organization I'm working with, they have a very huge aspirations on making that brand or the hospital as one of the finest corporate hospitals in the surrounding areas.
Hmm.
So they are building it from scratch. So
Hmm.
that is interesting to learn, right? Like I work closely with with the CEO and the VP Finance, whom I report to actually.
Hmm.
So we always discuss on ideas. We always try understanding the healthcare sector. We always discuss for hours and hours what product should we launch and what is that we should improve in terms of service and process to
Hmm.
make that dream come true. So what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to be closer to people who are trying to build great,
Hmm.
at least to their level. So
Hmm.
that's the at least satisfaction that I have. If I don't one day probably build a company, at least I'm trying to be closer to people who
Hmm.
have that aspiration.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
It
So
was
I am
fantastic,
speaking.
talking to someone, because I look back about 15, 20 years ago, and
Yeah.
I was the same. Like, I had the same aspirations, and I was going through such tough phases.
Yes.
And, it's unimaginable that even I am what I am or who I am today.
Yes. Yes.
Looking back at 15 years ago, people would never have imagined that I could have done so much. So in these last
Yes,
15
yes,
years.
yes, yes. Probably you just give two
So
damn or do three damn years to yourself,
yes,
just oblivious to other external
yes.
things
So
that gives you pleasure and all.
exactly,
Probably would compound 6, 7 years faster,
yes,
so that people would be in shock. Oh my, I didn't this dude. We would never expected this dude to be processed to this extent.
exactly. If I look back and people ask me what did you do, there were very few activities. It was just watching, listening, and reading.
Yes, yes,
And
that's it.
those three activities would consume my whole day. So
Yeah.
there were days like, in 2 days I would read books which had around 600 pages, 700 pages. And
Yes, yes.
I would read from Sri Aurobindo to, Madam Blavatsky to Ledbetter to Annie Besant to everybody. So
Yeah.
looking back, I feel that it wasn't that difficult. It was only the decision to invest yourself,
Decision. Yes,
Uh,
yes, cool,
and
yes,
even I heard in your words also when you said that I decided to do my MBA in a certain way. So
yes, yes,
probably that decision made a lot of difference in how you experience your
yes,
life.
yes, yes, yes,
And
yes,
again the choices, and again as you said, probably being surrounded by the like-minded people or probably the challenging people who would
yes,
always
yes.
look up
People
to.
who challenge you, or see,
Hmm.
you generally people have that mindset of challenge, surrounding themselves who makes them comfortable. That's the saddest part of our society, or of
Yes.
the type 2 or type 3. If you can just surround with people who keeps you uncomfortable to the core,
Exactly. You
I
know, in
think
my one of my
that's
recent
how.
videos, I said I would want such a tough master or coach who would actually
Ah,
make me feel hate him. You know,
yes,
uh,
that's the best way to grow,
yes,
because people who make you cool and who make you
feel
look
relaxed
smarter,
and feel
relax smarter, who
uh,
don't grind you to the core and who don't give you
exactly.
targets, and that's
Yes,
the, of course, that's the simplest way, but when is that we gonna
but that
progress?
doesn't give you the actual advantage of having
Yes,
a
yes,
coach or a mentor.
yes,
I
yes,
said, I would want to have somebody who would drag me by my collar and put me there into the
mm,
another
mm.
dimension, and want me to.
Situations put,
Yeah.
yes, 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 you have to put that to the situations and all.
Yes.
Yeah,
So, in
that's the
that
way.
way, if I can ask you, like, who has been, who has at least played a role of a mentor, or is there somebody who actually mentored you?
No, no direct mentors. I've said you, like, I've taken this Kunal Shah
Mm,
as a
mm,
mentor, though he never knows me or I never met him in
mm.
person. But thanks to technology and this
Yes.
platforms, we could just take them as mentors. They would just tell
Yes.
you what is the life and what is that you have to do to prosper on a very broader level. They won't say that, do these things, you will just earn a job
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
package of 12 lakhs, 13 lakhs. They would never speak that way, because they
Yes.
only speak on a broader way, how that our country would prosper.
Mm.
He says that it's the entrepreneurs who will build the country. It's not the XYZ who will build this country. It's the entrepreneurs who are willing to take risks and create thousands
Mm.
and thousands of jobs. And if
Mm.
we have that pandemic of entrepreneurs in our country, then probably our country will prosper. This is what he says every day.
Great. I was
Yeah.
very recently. I was in Dubai and
Hmm.
for a presentation, and then even Robin Sharma was there.
Yeah.
So someone asked Robin Sharma, like, who has been your mentor and your coach?
Hmm.
And he said, every author whose book I read was a mentor to me,
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
everybody who I listen to is a mentor to me. So
Yes, yes, yes.
that's how I got mentored,
Yes,
and probably
because they will challenge your mindset.
yes.
Our mindset is always stuck to uh, what we call, like, stuck to this practical or sorry, not practical, like this to materialistic and status driven mindsets.
Hmm.
Oh, let's earn 12 lakhs and make sure that we'll show off to our relatives or to our thing. But
Hmm.
that mindset shouldn't be there, and it should be always on wealth driven mindset. These
Hmm.
are all things I never know, at least, because I've watched his videos. He says how an individual or a country prospers
Hmm.
and what mindset it requires for every, at least for the urban city or the one tier, two tier cities.
Hmm.
Three tier is always, again, which we can't do anything, because it happens. It can never happen in a huge country like this. At least the urban one, the tier one and tier two cities, people will prosper
Hmm.
to an extent.
Hmm.
I think the country will prosper to the next
Hmm.
level. Yeah.
They,
He'll
yeah.
address many and many topics which we never heard in our life. He'll
Hmm.
address about capitalism,
Hmm. Hmm.
socialism, what capitalism means, what socialism means, how is this country prospers and all. So
Hmm.
these topics, your professor will never teach you, or you can't come across in your companies or anywhere.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So this all keeps your mind, changes your mindset and the way you look at your life. Yeah.
Hmm. Great, Venu.
Yeah.
Venu, if I asked you, like, to list three things or to give your idea on three things, you would recommend somebody doing one for language, one for mindset, and one for creating results. What would you offer your advice?
Creating results comes only if you have that ownership mindset.
Hmm.
You join a company or you join a job and you have that mindset of TK, my manager
Hmm.
will guide me, or my manager will set some targets so that
Hmm.
I'll work towards it. That is the uh, that shouldn't be the case. Like, you should take that ownership of doing things to that perfectionism, or ownership mindset would drive you
Exactly.
results.
Mindset.
Ownership mindset.
Hmm.
Like, you can't be like work like an, like, only limit yourself to 1, 2, 3 tasks. Like, okay, मैं operations में है और मैं business development में है, or like I'm
Hmm.
into
Hmm.
marketing, only I'll stick to only these 1, 2, 3 tasks.
Hmm.
If you can just create that ownership mindset
Hmm.
of being engaged with any other cross functional or cross functional
Hmm.
departments or and all,
Hmm.
probably you would grow like anything.
Hmm.
Then this thought came when this entrepreneur Kunal Shah says, like, every employee should work like a CEO.
Hmm.
So then there definitely every individual will prosper. If
Yes.
everyone works like a manager or just an employee who is earning 15 or 20K, then probably no one will progress, and then the company won't progress.
Yes.
Then ownership is key. Ownership mindset is key thing for the results.
Hmm.
And
And
the second
mindset,
question,
mindset for personal
uh,
transformation.
mindset comes when you get surrounded with people who are way smarter and who have that aspiration to grow in life.
Hmm.
Only mindset comes. Unfortunately, our parenting was never been in that way, to that we can't. It's not like I'm blaming them, but it's all happened. They won't at least tell you how what takes in life to grow, to be
Hmm.
successful. At least they
Hmm.
never
Hmm.
discuss with us, because they
Hmm.
are never told by anyone.
Hmm.
Their
Exactly.
intention is to just work hard and give us more and more money, or to
Yes.
satisfy our needs. So that mindset comes when you get surrounded with people who have that higher aspirations.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because my mindset was always been to achieve this materialistic goals. So car,
Hmm.
I'll just buy a car. Or my mindset changed when I started hearing to this entrepreneur who
Hmm.
says, like, you should have a wealth driven mindset rather than a status driven mindset.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's how you prosper in
Great.
life.
And probably, no, it's also a choice, a personal choice to choose your
Personal choice.
circles sometimes. You
Circle.
can
Yes, sir.
decide which circles you want to be surrounded with,
Yes,
what you
yes.
want to read, what you want to
Yeah.
listen,
Yes,
who you
it's
want to
choices.
go to and talk to. So
Yes,
probably
yes.
that's something a person can,
At
make
least
a small
you
choice.
should initiate for first time or second, for first couple of times, to go
Hmm.
and meet new people who are way smarter than you. Then they'll
Yes,
definitely have that influence on your mindset
exactly.
change. Yeah. So say that is
Yes.
the thing. Like,
Probably,
being
I remember in 97, 98 and 99. That was 97 was my beginning of my journey of personal transformation.
yes,
And
yes,
I
yes,
still remember, like, I used to travel all the way to Hyderabad and all the other places. And I used to meet people who never, even their neighbors knew that who they were. And I
yes,
would
yes, yes,
meet them, I would understand them, I would learn so many things from them. And
yes, yes.
every next time, I would meet somebody, they would introduce me to somebody else who then would be,
That's the interesting part of networking, right? Like, you
yes,
be with people smarter than you.
yes,
Of course, definitely, those five people will be gelling with people way smarter than them. So at
exactly.
least you will have that access to people who are smarter than, or a 2x or 3x smarter than you.
Yes,
If they like you, probably they would call to meetings, or
exactly.
so that's how networks build. Properly, people never understand the importance of networking.
Yes. So that's
Mhm.
how, I allowed them to push me or pull me rather into their circles.
Yes,
And
yes,
I allowed them to pour their wisdom into me.
yes,
And
yes.
that probably was the most transformative thing that happened being in those circles.
Yes, yes.
That was one. And
Probably I wouldn't be the relevant person to tell all these aspects, or to any other person to give as an advice, but I just told you as what I follow in my on a daily basis, because
yeah, I
still
just,
I'm at a
even I
very,
wanted to know the same, because everybody
yeah,
has their own stories of transformation. So
yes, yes, yes,
when Santosh told me that I knew a guy like this, I was immediately curious because I don't want to waste one moment in thinking twice about, talking to you. Because there, you get a handful of people who are so focused on personal transformation and their, ambition or whatever, in whichever way they call it, but they have a purpose and they are heading towards their purpose. So I
Yes.
thought, let me find out what is there. And so I said, I want
Yeah.
to talk to this person in any which way. So I want,
It was
and
nice talking to you. You're very
yeah,
patient enough to listen all these
no,
things from my side.
absolutely. It's an honor to meet anybody, everybody who has done something to become, to live live a life of awareness, a fully aware
Mm.
life,
Yes, yes, yes,
conscious life.
yes, yes,
And everybody has turning points, but
yes,
some
yes,
people just go by those turning points blindfolded and as if, nothing has happened.
yes, yes,
So,
yes.
it says, life knocks at your door only a few times, and if you don't wake up,
And
then
yeah,
probably
yeah. If you don't change, then probably yes. Because my father was very kind enough to trust me when other people have zero trust in making me to join MBA because
fantastic. Even the same, my father never went to school, my mom never went to school, but they invested their whole life in me, and they said, we trust that this guy is going to learn, and
yes.
he'll be a conscious human being. So I see that,
Mm,
I
mm,
appreciate your
mm.
father doing that with you.
Yes, because everyone said this person has done nothing in engineering and have just scored 59 percentage. And how could you invest again 12, 13 lakhs of
Hmm.
money on his MBA? And he said, like, okay, I'll do it. Let him fail again. I don't mind because I'm doing all these things to grow them or to feed them. Yeah, let me do this. That's the fantastic part. I think
Great man. You
that's the
have a amazing father.
that's the reason I've taken this MBA as a very high with a greater responsibility.
Hmm.
Yes.
I love this part, when it's very rare that you get a dad who probably
Mm,
doesn't understand where you're going to land, but still trusts in and has faith in
ah,
what you're doing.
yes,
And
yes,
uh,
yes.
you know,
Because he is surrounded with like 20 people who says that he is useless, and why are you investing again 30 lakhs in him in this way in this life? And he says like, PK, okay, he is willing to study again. Let me trust him and just invest that amount of.
that's a big gamble, because I knew in 97, 98, I was into alternative therapies, like,
Hmm.
pranic healing, Reiki therapy and crystal therapy and all alternative therapies people were not so much aware about. And
Yes, yes.
my relations and everybody would say, what the hell are you investing your money into, and where he's going and what he's learning, and are these
Hmm.
courses going to help him in any which way to earn, bread and butter? So,
Yes, yeah.
but I was like mad about them. My father said, when he's so much mad about them, and he's not
Let
going
him,
into
yeah.
drugs and anything
At least better than that, right?
better than that. So that's how. And what would you recommend about the youth of your age or far below your age? What would you recommend about language?
About language, I think language is not about, the communication is not about confined to a single language like or English or something. It's all about the effective communication. See, I heard it from this one entrepreneur or one founder. If you can just speak effectively, 50% of your problems are resolved.
Hmm.
It is so we have to do all the things to take to speak that effectively. Either it is not in English or it is in Telugu or any other language.
Hmm. Hmm.
You should build that skills of venting out that structured idea that you have in your mind to other person. This happens when you are in sales. Like
Hmm.
every
Hmm.
person who's at 18, 17 should build that skill of sales.
Hmm.
People in India or people in our society, mainly in Type 2, Type 3, they look at sales as a low profile job.
Yes.
But sales is something which is required to every individual because you do it everywhere.
Hmm.
You do it everywhere. It starts from telling your likes or your desire to a women or to your any
Everything
it
is
comes
selling.
from
It's,
everything is
at every
everything
point you sell your idea. Every
idea,
point you
yeah,
sell yourself,
and sell yourself.
Yeah.
Sales is something which is needed for every individual at 17, 18. People shouldn't look sales as a low profile job. That's the saddest part of society. But sales is something which is
That's the
required for
only way
every.
you can serve people.
Yes, yes, because you have to have that skill of selling every idea that you have to another person. Probably
Yes.
we don't have a strong dating culture in our society, right? So
Hmm.
probably at 15,
Else
people
people
think,
would have realized how
realize
important
how
it is.
important it is, because
Yeah.
we all you just look at it, tier 3 cities. A 15-year-old guy, if you make him to sit behind a girl or sit
Huh.
beside a girl or
Huh.
make him to talk to a girl, either he would
Hmm.
misbehave or either he
Hmm.
won't talk to her
Hmm.
on a fear of talking to other gender.
Yeah.
What if you made it very general of speaking to other people, or
Yes.
the dating culture, if it is there like the
Yes.
US, in the US or UK, in the UK,
Yes.
probably our society would have prospered. Dating has a very
And
different understanding for the society. It is like only the other aspects, but dating is a very simple thing. Like you just try to impress the other person
mm,
if you like them really,
yes.
because
Interesting perspective.
because you'll try to understand and do whatever that person likes in you, right?
And in the
That's
process, you learn to listen to others,
listen to others,
observe others, you know.
understand the human behavior.
Yes.
What if you can do something too interesting point that an other opposite gender likes it?
Mm, mm,
I think that takes the understanding of his behavior. That's where human behavior comes, right? Like, see, if you just properly understand, every business is in the business of changing human behavior. Either it
yes.
is the
Yes.
fintech companies or like this Paytm or PhonePe, they are
All
spending
about changing human lives.
human behavior, right?
Yes, human
Human behavior.
behavior.
Before Paytm and PhonePe has come, we just only gave cash for the other person. Now
Mm,
we are just doing the transition the other way. Why this happened? Because the companies have invested huge money or huge capital in changing the human behavior.
mm,
They have understood what takes or where should be invested to change the human behavior. So probably their founders have a very better understanding of human beings. So understanding human behavior, because we always think that engineering, MBA, doctor is only the way to progress in life.
mm.
We never look at subjects like philosophy, psychology, nothing. People who have done great in life have studied all these books. All these books are like related to philosophy and psychology.
Mm,
The core understanding of human behavior lies in these books of philosophy and psychology.
mm.
Yeah. I think sales is something which is needed to every other person. Either he's a doctor, either he's an engineer, either he's a police. Oh, sales is all about convincing people, right? Like
Yes.
whatever you want, the way you want, and that gives a very uh, uh, good results. Yeah, sales is a mandate thing, and the mindset.
Yes.
Mindset, it all starts with the mindset. Yeah,
Was a great conversation, Venu, with
yeah.
you. It
Thank you
was so
so much.
interesting. I really loved every bit of it, and
Thank you so much for sparing your time and just listening to me, who's a person who's not that well successful. Generally,
no,
people
Venu,
only
you know,
tends to
success.
listen. Generally, what
Yeah.
happens is only people tends to listen and allow people who are very successful, right? Of course, that's the right way, because people like me shouldn't give lectures and people who have done nothing more in life. But anyway, if the people like us gets the opportunity to just tell our experiences, how I think that might be useful for few people who are just struggling with it.
Yes, Venu. You never know who gets to hear that, and you know
Yeah,
who I will talk to about, and where we'll meet in life, where we'll come across, and you
and I
never
really
know.
appreciate
Uh,
your curiosity to at least talk to me, because you have met way successful people in life. You would have met way successful people in life, but you have taken your time to talk to me, who talk to a person who's just earning a minimal thing in his life and have great things to do in life again. So this gives me confidence, and this resembles your character or the passion that you have in your uh, path.
Yes, Venu,
That's
I've
great.
been because I know that, you know, had somebody, you know, there were a few people who really believed in me about 15 years ago. So
Yeah,
I know the impact of having people around you who you know way before you do it, they know that you are going to make it someday. And
yeah,
if I recollect, you know, to even 20 years ago when nobody trusted that I would be who I am today,
yeah.
you know, I still give some credit of my success to them,
Yes,
because
yes,
they always said one thing, Ranjan, let the whole world doesn't believe you, but we believe in you.
yes,
And
yes, yes.
those few words, they really make sense.
Yes, yes.
When you get somebody, and I was curious because I know that when somebody, see, if somebody could make such instant transformation, that wouldn't go an intense phase.
Yes, yes.
So that wouldn't go without an intense phase. So I
Yes,
think
yes.
what kind of an intense phase this guy must have gone through, that brings such transformation. So
I really appreciate your attribute of being curious and just wanted to talk to people. That's the greatest or attribute for an individual. You just took 1 hour of your time just to speak to me and just to understand what happened in my life. And that's the great that's the thing I need to appreciate in your part. Like
thank you
being
so much.
curious. If every
I
person
love that.
can be, every person, if they are very curious, I think that's the only attribute they can be successful at. You have to be very curious at things, everything. Oh, how this works, how that works, what is that it works. Because we are more oblivious to things that's happening in the society. Most of the people don't understand how economy works, how money works, how compounding works. Because we are very oblivious. We are just only confined to that 2, 3, just earning 50,000 per month and just chilling out with friends. We just confined to the 2, 3, 4 tasks in life.
Yes.
So people who have done great in life. They are just curious of random
It's
things.
just that, I see that I know we don't have this masterminding culture here in India
Yes,
a
yes,
lot.
yes,
So when you learn how to have these mastermind groups and you talk to them, you build that culture of learning and
yeah,
growth and
yeah.
evolution.
Yes,
That's when you see the other side of life.
see, what happens here is like the videos, the comedy videos, the meme videos, everything has huge likes and huge views.
Yes.
Like in internet, people are just like all the masterminds of the country, just telling what it takes for the country to prosper. Who never, no one watches them. No one is really oblivious to those videos. No one is really
Yes.
interested to see their videos because they are just telling their experiences in terms of building your mindset.
Hmm.
And they talk in a very broader way of
Yes.
building a country, not
Yes.
a company, not an individual, not a family. They only speak about how a country prosper.
Hmm.
Because you, me, never really bother about a country prosperity.
Exactly.
Right? Well, exactly. Because we are only confined to few tasks in life.
Yes.
Those people, they wanted to bring that impact in people, country, in
Yes. See, unless
society, and have that
unless you
mindset.
elevate yourself to a level where you see
Uh,
life at a macro level,
yes, yes, yes.
probably, I was talking to someone, and I was just 2 days ago, I was telling that, things are different when you look at them from a macro level. You know,
Yes, yes,
it's very easy to get lost in the details. So much so
yes,
that you
yes,
never know after 3 years, you might realize that you are actually headed in the right direction, but in the right way. But
yes,
and
yes,
that doesn't work out. So
yes.
time and again, self-reflection becomes so important.
Yes, yes.
You
I think I
introspection.
recommend you to watch his videos, his content and all. Probably if you like, you can just recommend to many other people because you
Definitely,
have you have a larger platform to broadcast all these things.
definitely.
Because they are unleft, unseen videos on the internet. Only very few
Uh, I would
people.
actually request you, now that you have my contact number, I would request you to share some of the links which you
Sure,
would want me to
sure,
share with others.
definitely. I'll share you his 1, 2, 3 videos, top videos.
Sure.
I think he nailed them. Like probably he nailed them. No one really, because in India, in our society, mostly people what we call uh, quote many things while they speak to the other people. They do this
Hmm.
paper so
Hmm.
soft coding versions,
Hmm.
and this person just vents it out like the raw things. What is that our society doing wrong, and what is that the youth of the nation doing wrong?
Hmm.
And he only talks on a very broader level, like when is that our country will prosper with these mindsets.
Hmm.
That's the interesting part of it.
I will definitely watch them, recommend them, and
Yeah, if
uh,
you watch it and you will find it meaningful, just try to uh, like try to recommend to other people so that if they can watch and they can change their lives, I think we have done something at least.
I love that
So,
about you. Your again your desire
because
to
this is
share
how the
with
country.
others.
I never thought of country on a very broader level. Now, after seeing him, following him, I always concerned about the country at least at a society at a
Fantastic. You know, just yesterday I was going through this book. I just forgot the name of the author. I was just going through the book 10x. And
Mm-hmm.
in that he shares, you know, when you learn something, learn to, you know, reach the entire sector, not just the
Yes,
job.
yes, yes.
You know,
Yes, yes.
learn
That's the
everything
interesting
about the
part.
sector.
No one does it. Like only one, I think 5 or 6% of people will do it.
Yes.
He says that every personality should aspire to be like a T-shaped personality.
Hmm.
T-shaped in the sense like one side you have to be go deeper and deeper into one sector, and
Yes.
horizontally should be capable of every other thing.
Yes.
That's how an individual prospers. And
Yes.
I've just started then being transforming into that personality now, like another
Great,
level of
Venu.
transformation. T-shaped personality is something which everyone should look at.
Yes.
Like going deeper and deeper into one sector and have that horizontal capabilities so that you be successful, more successful.
Fantastic, Venu. It was a one great hour of my life that I spent with
I
somebody who's
thank you
so
so much for
passionate
your
about life, who's so passionate about creating himself.
And
And like,
one more thing I just wanted to tell before ending our call. Again, these videos, these content videos, these things are not the core subject of learning a skill.
hmm.
Oh, ठीक है, वो 1 hour video I'll just watch of Kunal Shah or any other founder is so successful. ठीक
Hmm.
है, I've done great in move. Like,
Hmm.
it's not that how it works.
Hmm.
You have to take that action to learn a skill
Hmm.
so that it will help you in life. Only
Yes.
just watching videos and all,
Is
just
not
they
going
are
to help.
yeah, they are only they're gonna help you to they are act as like a complementary thing.
Yes. Probably they are going to help you be aligned with your purpose.
Yeah, that's it. Only 10 or 15% of things that they would help you in life.
Yes.
If you want that 80% to happen, you have to be out there, just learn new and new skills and be curious every day.
Fantastic, Venu. You know, we uncovered so many things, and probably this
Yes,
one conversation would not be enough, you know, to quench my thirst for more and more. So,
sure,
I love this conversation, and in fact, if life permits and time permits, someday I would
sure,
want to
sure,
meet your dad also.
sure.
Such a good
Yeah,
dad who really supported you and, you know, was with you when you were not at least this successful. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
so my
Yes.
greetings to him, my best wishes to you, and
Yes.
lots of love. And
And wish you all the best. You have to be more and more have to be like this person who's trying to bring that impact in other people's life. That's the great interesting part.
thank you so much, Venu. Thank you so much.
Keep doing it and keep influencing or bringing that impact in other people's life. Also, that's the great part we can do
Definitely,
for our
Venu.
society. Yes.
That's my first passion, which I've been following and, you know, doing for my
Yeah.
whole life. And yes,
Yeah.
it's a commitment that I've taken, that I'll be
Yes.
doing
Yes.
this. I'll
Yes.
be,
Yes.
you know, sharing all wisdom from everybody to
Yes. Yes.
everyone who wants to really change their lives. And
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
be doing this. Thank you, Venu, for
Yes.
sharing your
Thank you.
insights and
Thank
your
you.
life and your ideas.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for the patience that you have
I loved
put in.
it. I
And
loved it. It's I who
yes,
wanted this conversation. So
yes, yes, yes.
thank
That's
you
the
so
interesting part, right? If every individual is so curious about learning things, then probably everyone would have prospered way better.
Yes.